Starting a business in Virginia sounds exciting until the paperwork hits. Between confusing rules, name rejections, and hidden fees, it's easy to get stuck before you even begin. But don't worry, I'll walk you through every step to start your Virginia LLC the right way without the stress. From choosing a name that won't get rejected to avoiding a mistake that could destroy your privacy, which we'll go over in a minute here, this video's got you covered. But first, let's talk about why Virginia is a good place for an LLC in the first place. So in 2025, Virginia cracked the top 10 for best states for business, pulling in entrepreneurs because it mixes a growing tech scene with a well-educated workforce and some pretty generous support for small businesses. You get personal liability protection. That means that if your LLC faces a lawsuit or debts, your house and your car are off limits. There's also no state corporate tax for LLCs, so your profits really pass right through directly to your tax return, usually saving on taxes compared to bigger companies. Plus, the state has clear rules and a smooth online application process, which means less hassle to deal with. But the first step is choosing a business name, and most folks overlook this step and they trip themselves up early. So in a second here, I'll show you how to get the right name for your business and avoid any potential rejections. But before we jump in too deep here, here's one thing to keep in mind. So starting your business, it should be exciting, not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get confusing fast with all the legal forms, the rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video, but if any part of this feels confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way in the video, just go ahead and click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. All right, so back to the business name here. So most people think that picking a name is just about creativity, but in Virginia, it's a big deal for your LLC. So here's what you need to know before falling in love with your new name. So your name has to be completely unique compared to other Virginia businesses, no matter how small the difference seems, right? So if someone's already using, Richmond Roofing Pros LLC, you won't get away with Richmond Roofing Pro LLC. The name must also end with limited liability company, limited company, or abbreviations like LLC, LLC, or LC. Forget to add one of those designators and your application pretty much goes nowhere. You also have to steer clear of restricted words that make your LLC look like a government agency. So FBI, Treasury, or that requires special licensing like bank or attorney. And before printing business cards or launching a website, check Virginia's free business name search tool, which is linked to below, along with every other resource included in this video, to see if your idea is taken by another business. And one last tip, it's smart to also snag your website domain once approved, even if you're not building a site yet. That way, your online presence will match your official business name and save you a ton of headaches down the road. All right, so next, are you ready to find out why picking a solid registered agent can save you future headaches? Well, there's a detail here that most new owners miss, but it's way easier to get right than you think. So picking a registered agent for your Virginia LLC isn't just another box to check. It's what keeps your business running smoothly and keeps you out of trouble when legal notices or tax paperwork show up. The state makes it pretty clear. You need a registered agent with a real Virginia address who's available during regular business hours, ready to catch any official docs, lawsuits, or reminders from the State Corporation Commission. You can technically be your own agent if you're a resident with a local address, but that means that your personal info ends up on public record and your privacy is pretty much destroyed. So that said, many business owners, they hand this job off to a pro like Northwest Registered Agent that specialize in privacy, reliability, and handling all this boring compliance stuff so nothing slips through the cracks. They'll keep your address private and junk mail stays out of your house as well. And if you use Northwest, they'll even let you list their business address on state filings. Plus, their customer service scores rave reviews, and their LLC formation package is just $39 for setup with the first year of registered agent service included. So if you want to go ahead and check them out, then you can go ahead and click right up here to learn more about them. So moving on, let's get into the document that finally makes your business official in Virginia by breaking down the Articles of Organization next, because missing one detail on that form can cost days or even weeks. So here's a step that officially brings your Virginia LLC to life. And if you get it right, you'll be up and running in no time. So you need to file the Articles of Organization, which is Form LLC 1011, through the Virginia State Corporation Commission. This form captures your business name, your main office address, your registered agent info, and organizer signatures. Every detail needs to match Virginia's requirements, from a full street address down to using LLC in your name. And you can file online for the fastest results, and the state system often approves LLCs the same day that payment is received, while mailing in your form, that can take up to 2 weeks. Now, the filing fee itself, that's $100, and you can pay with a card online or a check by mail. And this fee is non-refundable and required to get your LLC status. Now, once approved, you'll get a certificate of organization and a confirmation so that you can move ahead with the next step. Things like opening a business bank account and applying for your EIN, which will be coming up here shortly. But beware, because leaving out any part of this required info, it could mean delays, so double check before you submit. So next, let's discuss the one document that can protect your business relationships, whether you're a solo entrepreneur or with partners, and that's what's known as the operating agreement. Now, most new business owners, they don't create this one, but your operating agreement is really what spells out exactly how your LLC will run. Who owns what, how profits get split, and how decisions get made if there's ever a disagreement. Now, in Virginia, you aren't legally required to have one, but it's one of the smartest moves that you can make, even for a single member LLC. Banks often want to see your operating agreement when you set up a business account, and it's also your best proof of ownership. So picture this, right? So two friends, they start a marketing LLC, but when business takes off, arguments pop up over, how revenue should be divided. Well, their operating agreement, it saves the partnership, because from day one, it lays out exactly what happens if someone wants out or the business needs to shut down or, big profits come in. And it doesn't have to be difficult to make either. Just find templates online or use some type of AI to help you out. Now, with that protection in place, you're set up for the next step, which is getting your EIN, because without it, you can't hire employees, open a business bank account, or handle your company taxes. So this is a step that you don't want to skip, right? Which is getting your EIN, employer identification number. And basically, it's a social security number for your business, right? You'll need it to, again, pay taxes, get a business account, hire employees, even if your LLC is just you without staff. Now, the best part, it's free. You can snag your EIN in about 15 minutes by filling out a quick online form on the IRS website, and you'll get your number instantly if your info checks out. Having your EIN lets you keep your personal social security number off of business paperwork, and most banks will require it before they'll let you open a business checking account. And that's really a must for keeping your business and personal finances separate. All right, now that we're going to assume that your EIN is ready, right? Let's tackle staying compliant and keeping your Virginia LLC in good standing year after year. So staying in good standing with Virginia is pretty simple, but you can't afford to skip these steps. So every year, your LLC must pay a $50 annual registration fee. The deadline is the last day of your formation month. So if you formed in June, your payment is due by June 30th the following year. Forget or miss that deadline, you'll get a $25 late fee, and after a few months, the state can even dissolve your business. Now, unlike some states, Virginia doesn't make LLCs file a separate annual report. Just pay the fee and confirm your registered agent and business details if something changes. Now, most small businesses, they won't need a general state license, but you'll need to check with your city or county, plus any industry-specific rules for occupations like salons, restaurants, or real estate. And if you plan to collect sales tax or hire employees, make sure to register with the Department of Taxation or get the required permits. And keeping all this straight lets you stay legally protected and makes renewing other licenses, if needed, a breeze. Now, next, let's cut through all the confusion here and break down every expected cost for a Virginia LLC so that you know exactly what you're committing to upfront. All right, so here's what you can expect to spend split into startup and ongoing costs, so that you're never caught off guard. So first, startup costs. Your articles of organization that is required, $100 one-time fee when you file with the State Corporation Commission. Next, we have registered agent service, optional but highly recommended. So if you use Northwest Registered Agent, it's only $39 for your LLC formation, plus free registered agent service for the first year. Then business licenses and permits. So sometimes required, but depends on the business, right? So that varies by city or industry, usually $0 to $100 to start. You just have to check your local rules for your municipality. So your total first year cost, most Virginia LLCs with professional agent services, they run $125 to $250 for the first year, plus any required permits and licenses specific to your business type. All right, so ongoing costs. So your annual registration fee, that is $50 per year due in the month that your LLC was formed. Next, registered agent renewal, $125 per year for Northwest Registered Agent after year one. Then we have business license renewals. That really varies by location and industry again, $0 to $100 per year. So the annual ongoing cost after year one, For most, the recurring yearly cost to keep your Virginia LLC compliant is around $175 to $225, plus any additional permits that are required for your businesses. Now again, to help with all this, I do advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the most important thing, which is running a profitable business. If you have any questions for me or you're a little bit confused about the process, no problem, just drop me a comment below and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.